Hi, today I'll be making a layered card. You can easily recreate the same design just by stacking the die cut layers, or you can use a fun binding method that I will show you to actually make your card double as a mini album. To make the shape of the card, I have used a die from April Small Die of the Month kit by Spellbinders. Let's have a look at this month kit. It includes 4 border sentiment dies that cut on the edge. These are the actual die cuts. If you are interested in any products that I'm using, including this kit, I'll have all the links down below in the description as well as on my blog. For today's project, I'll only be using the slime die, smile die. I'm gonna be needing 2 card bases 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm using Licorice note cards by Memory Box. They have coating only on one side. I'm kind of turning one of the card bases inside out and pressing down the fold. Simple. Then I'm going to attach some film strip washi tape at the left side of the white card base, right by the fold. I'm pressing it down to make sure it's nicely stuck, and then I'm trimming off the excess with the scissors. Then I'm opening up the white card base and placing it into the stamp tool. For my focal image, I have chosen a clear stamp by Inkadinkado. I'm going to stamp this camera at the bottom of the card front. The ink I'm using is Memento TUXEDO Black, and I'm stamping the image a couple of times. Then I'm going to do some die cutting. I'm opening up my card base and placing it into the die cut machine. I'm positioning a sentiment die right above the camera, and I'm making sure its left edge just touches my film strip border. And then I'm sending it through. I'm removing the die, and then with a craft knife I'm going to make a cut right along the washi tape border. I'm starting at the top and finishing where the die cut begins. Basically, I'm trimming off the corner. Then I'm placing the black card base inside that one, and then I'm positioning the sentiment die right above the sentiment that I have already die cut. And then I'm opening up this second card base and sending it through the die cut machine. Then, just as before, I'm going to trim off the corner. There is no washi tape attached to this card base, nevertheless I'm leaving a border of the same width. I will need that border for binding. Now for the last time I'm placing the sentiment above the 2 previous ones, and I'm going to repeat the same process. This is how I created the shape of my booklet card, and now I need to bind it. I'm using the centering ruler to make 5 evenly spaced marks. I'm marking the center, then 1/4 inch from the edges, and then I'm dividing that spaces in half. Then I'm going to punch 5 holes right along the fold. I'm using my Crop-A-Dile Big Bite tool, but if you don't have a punch that can reach the middle of the card base, you can use a piercing tool. I'm placing the second card base behind the first one to make some holes at the same places. I could actually punch through 2 card bases right away, but I just didn't think of it at that moment. You could actually skip the punching and just use staples for binding. I just really want to use that black and white twine that I have. What I'm doing now is actually a basic stitching, just a bit larger scale. I keep feeding the twine through the holes until I reach the end of the card base. Then I'm turning back and moving to where I have started. I'm using a needle tool to push the twine through the holes. When I'm finished feeding the twine, I'm going to tie the ends into a simple single knot. First I thought of tying an ordinary bow, then I decided to make it a bit fluffier. So I'm just twisting the twine around my fingers, then putting it onto the knot and tying another knot on top of it. Hope it makes sense. And this is the trick that I like to use to prevent my knots from untying. I'm just putting a dot of liquid glue onto the knot and tying it again. Then I'm trimming off the ends. You can notice that because of the thickness of the cardstock, the card base in the middle sticks out a little bit. So I'm just placing the card base into the paper trimmer and I'm trimming off about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the card. Now all the pages are perfectly aligned. So what do you do with this type of card? Of course, you're adding some pictures inside. I'm so excited to show you my new favorite toy. It's a mini photo printer by Kodak. It's wireless, it's small, it's super handy, and it allows you to print out any pictures from your phone. I'm going to print out some pictures of my children to place inside the card, and I'm going to send this card to my husband's parents. I'm sure they will be happy to get it. The picture is being printed in several steps. First comes the yellow color, then the red one, then the green one, and then the protective coating. It can create beautiful bright pictures. I just decided to go with black and white because it matches my card. The size of the picture that this printer makes is 2 1/8 by 3 3/8 of an inch. This little strip is waste. I could have enlarged the photo and make it cover up the entire paper, but I really wanted to leave that white border. So now I'm trimming the pictures to make those borders all the same size. Then I'm simply attaching all the pictures with a double-sided tape. I'm placing them closer to the bottom of the card to make sure they are not peeking out when the card is closed. I'm attaching the pictures only to the right pages, and I'm going to use all the left pages to add my messages and comments. I have made an A2 size envelope using my envelope punch board by VI Memory Keepers, and you see that this booklet card fits inside just perfectly. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, enjoy the spring, and I hope to see you again really soon.